Okay, so now let's try naman if sa sin x tayo. Okay, so at sin x. So yung sin x natin, that will be equal to e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix all over 2i. So, ito yung na-solve natin kanina. And then, recall lang natin that e raised to ix is equal to cosine x plus I sin x. Okay? So, meron tayong x dito. Ito yung ipapalit natin sa mga x dito sa part na to. So, our e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix all over 2i is equal to, okay. So, meron tayong e raised to I times 2 plus I minus e raised to negative I times 2 plus I all over 2I. So, expansion yung gagawin natin ngayon. So, if you expand this one, this will be equal to e raised to 2I and then I squared is negative 1. So, ilagay ko na lang negative 1 ha. E raised to 2I minus 1 and then for this one naman minus e raised to negative 2i. Negative I squared is positive 1. Kasi negative times negative 1, that is positive 1 all over 2i. And then gayong ginawa natin kanina. So first example, recall natin that a raised to b times a raised to c is equal to a raised to b plus c. So, pabaliktad yung gagawin natin dito. So, this will be equal to e raised to 2i times e raised to negative 1 minus e raised to negative 2i times e raised to 1 all over 2i. Now, what is e raised to 2i? So, gaya dito, this is e raised to ix. So, x natin dito is equal to 2. So, lahat ng x dito, palitan lang natin ng 2. So, this will be equal to e raised to 2i is cosine 2 plus I sine 2 times e raised to negative 1 minus, what is e raised to negative 2i? Again, if this is negative, so e raised to negative ix is equal to cosine x minus I sine x. Mag-iiba lang yung operation niya. Okay, so this will be equal to cosine 2 minus I sine 2. And then multiplied by e raised to 1. And of course, all over 2i. So now, expand natin siya. This will be equal to e raised to negative 1 cosine 2 plus e raised to negative 1 I sine 2 minus e raised to 1 cosine 2 and then negative times negative, that is positive e raised to 1 I sine 2 all over 2i. Now, the next thing we should do is to combine like terms. Okay? So, if we combine like terms, pagsamahin natin si real, pagsamahin si imaginary. So, this will be equal to, okay, si cosine 2 and cosine 2, since common sa kanila, i-factor out na lang natin. And then, we will be left with e raised to negative 1 minus e raised to 1. And then, plus si I sine 2 and then si e raised to negative 1 plus e raised to 1. And of course, all over 2i pa din. Now, if we calculate this one on your calculators, this will be equal to, you will get, this is 0.98. Ito, sa part na to. And then, that is plus 2.81i all over 2i. Ngayon, kailangan nating i-eradicate or i-eliminate tong denominator. How do we do that? By multiplying it with its conjugate. So, anong conjugate ng 2i? That is negative 2i. Okay? So, from there, this will be equal to, lagyan natin ng division para hindi nakakalito. Yan. So, 0.98 times negative 2, that is equal to negative 1.96i. And then 2.8 times negative 2, 2.81i times negative 2i, that is equal to negative 5.62i squared. And we all know that I squared is equal to negative 1. And then 2i times negative 2i, that is equal to negative 4i squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So this will be equal to negative 1.96i. And then negative times negative, that is positive. So 5.62. That is 5.62 all over negative times negative, that is positive 4. Now, our final answer for sine x is equal to, unahin na natin yung real part. So, 5.62 divided by 4, that is 1.41 minus negative 1.96i over 4, that is 0.49i. Okay, so ito i-try nga natin sa calculator natin. If you try that on your calculator, of course, dapat naka-complex mode kayo and naka-radians mode din kayo. So this will be equal to, how to turn your calculators into radians? Shift mode. Shift mode 4. Okay? And then type nyo lang yung complex number natin, which is negative 1.96i plus 5.62 over 4. That is equal to 1.41 minus 0.49. Okay, so this is the value of our complex number in sine x. Now, let's try to find tangent x naman. Okay, so we have tangent x. So what is tangent x? That is sine x over cosine x. So what we will do is to divide na lang yung mga nakuha natin na values nito in complex number. So what is sine x? That is 1.41 minus 0.49i. And what is cosine x? That is negative 0.64 minus 1.07i. So, paano ba natin to isosolve? So, we need to multiply yung complex conjugate niya. So, that will be equal to 0.64 plus, so mag-iiba yung operation niya sa gitna, 1.07i all over negative 0.64 plus 1.07i. And now, we do FOIL method. So this will be equal to, okay, 1.41 times negative 0.64, that is negative 0.9. And then 1.41 times 1.07, that is 1.51. Of course, meron tayong I dito. So that is positive 1.51i, and then negative 0.49i times negative 0.64, that is positive 0.31. Yes, 0.31i, and then negative 0.49 times positive 1.07i, that will be equal to negative 0.52. So, negative 0.52i squared. And we all know that I squared is equal to negative 1. And then, for our denominator naman, we have 0.64 times 0.64. That will be positive 0.41. And then, take note, this is a special product. Okay, meron tayong special product dito. And if we see a binomial na magkaiba yung sign pero parehas ng mga terms, ibig sabihin, our final answer or our answer is difference of two cubes. So, i-cube lang natin, difference of two squares, I should say. So, square lang natin tong mga first term and then pag-multiply din to, or square lang natin yung mga last terms. Okay, so that will be negative 1.07 times 1.07i squared is equal to 1.14i. So that is negative 1.14i squared, and I squared is equal to negative 1. So, simplifying further, we have pagsamahin ulit natin yung mga real. So, si negative 0.9 and si positive 0. No, this one. Magiging real na to kasi natanggal na si I squared and transformed into negative 1. So, negative 0.9 minus 0.52, that is negative 0.38. Okay? Okay. So, this is equal to negative 0.38, and then 1.51i plus 0.31i, that is positive 1.81i. Okay? Or 1.82, that is 1.51 plus 0.31, that is 1.82. Okay, tama. So this is 1.82i. And then over 0.41 minus minus, that is positive, plus 1.14, that is 1.55. And simplifying, we have tangent x is equal to, okay, so isolve ulit natin yan sa mga calculators natin. So, negative 0.38 plus 1.82i all over 1.55 is equal to negative 0.25 plus 1.17i. So, ito ngayon yung value ng complex number natin in tangent x. Okay?